Even the most loyal Outlander book fans thought they already knew how this story would end. After all, the novels have been around for years, laying out a path that many believed the series would eventually follow. But everything shifted the moment Sam Heughan hinted that the finale might not be what anyone expects. And suddenly, a sense of certainty that fans held onto for so long began to unravel. For years, the relationship between the show and the books has felt almost inseparable. While there have been small deviations along the way, the core story has largely remained intact, giving longtime readers a sense of comfort. They could anticipate major moments, prepare themselves emotionally, and even predict how certain arcs would unfold. That predictability became part of the experience, a unique connection between those who read the story and those who watched it come to life. That's exactly why Sam's recent comments landed so differently. In what seemed like a casual remark, he suggested that even fans deeply familiar with the novels would be surprised by how the series concludes. It wasn't said dramatically, and there was no detailed explanation attached, but it didn't need one. The implication alone was enough to spark a wave of speculation that spread almost instantly across the fan community. Because if book readers won't see it coming, then something fundamental must be changing. It's not just about shifting a scene or adjusting a timeline, it suggests a deeper alteration, something that affects the heart of the story itself. And when a series that has built trust with its audience begins to hint at breaking away from its source, it creates both excitement and unease at the same time. Fans began dissecting every possible meaning behind his words. Some wondered if the ending would diverge entirely from the books, creating a new conclusion that no one could predict. Others speculated that certain character arcs might be altered in ways that completely reshape the emotional payoff. And then there were those who believed the twist might not be about events at all, but about perspective, revealing something hidden in plain sight that changes how everything is understood. What makes this even more intriguing is how carefully Sam has always chosen his words in the past. He's not known for making statements that stir unnecessary confusion or controversy, especially when it comes to a show with such a dedicated fanbase. So when he hints at something unexpected, it carries a level of weight that goes beyond casual speculation. It feels intentional, as if he knows exactly how much impact those few words would have. At the same time, there's a sense that this reveal wasn't meant to fully explain anything, at least not yet. It feels more like a warning, or perhaps an invitation for fans to start letting go of the assumptions they've held onto. Because if the ending is truly different, then everything leading up to it might need to be viewed in a new light. And that idea alone is enough to change how people experience the final stretch of the story. The timing also plays a role in why this feels so significant. As the series approaches its conclusion, expectations are at their highest. Fans want closure, but they also want something meaningful, something that justifies the emotional investment they've made over the years. By hinting at a surprising ending, Sam has essentially raised those expectations even further, while also introducing a level of uncertainty that didn't exist before. And that uncertainty is what makes this moment so powerful. Because for the first time, even those who believed they had an advantage, those who knew the books inside and out, are now on the same level as everyone else. No one can say for sure what's coming next, and that changes the entire dynamic of anticipation. In the end, it's not just about the possibility of a different ending. It's about what that difference represents, a shift away from predictability, a break from expectation, and a willingness to take the story somewhere new. And as that realization begins to settle in, one thing becomes clear. The ending fans thought they understood may no longer exist at all. So what exactly could be different, and how far are they willing to go to change an ending that so many fans already feel emotionally tied to? That question has quickly become the center of discussion, because the possibilities are far more complex than a simple deviation from the books. If the finale truly surprises even longtime readers, then it suggests a shift that touches something fundamental, something that could redefine how the entire story is remembered. One of the strongest theories revolves around the idea that the show may alter the fate of key characters in a way that diverges from the source material. Not necessarily by rewriting everything, but by adjusting the emotional outcome, the timing, or even the perspective through which the ending is experienced. Because sometimes, a story doesn't need to change its events to feel different, it only needs to change how those events are revealed. And that kind of shift can be even more powerful than a completely new ending. Another possibility lies in the structure of the finale itself. Instead of delivering a conclusion that follows the expected path, the show could introduce a twist that reframes earlier moments in a way no one anticipated. This wouldn't just surprise viewers, it would force them to look back at the entire journey with a new understanding. And for fans who believed they already knew the outcome, that kind of narrative reversal would be both shocking and deeply impactful. There's also the question of why such a change would happen in the first place. From a storytelling perspective, a long-running series often faces the challenge of balancing loyalty to its origins with the need to create something fresh. If the ending were entirely predictable, it might satisfy some fans but leave others wanting more. By introducing an unexpected element, the creators have the opportunity to give the story a final moment that feels unique, something that belongs specifically to the series rather than the books. Of course, this approach comes with risks. Book fans, in particular, have invested years into understanding the story as it was originally written. For them, any significant change can feel like a disruption, even if it's done with the intention of enhancing the narrative. And that tension between expectation and innovation is what makes this situation so compelling. Because no matter what direction the finale takes, it will inevitably spark strong reactions. And those reactions are already beginning to take shape. Some fans are excited by the idea of being surprised, of experiencing the ending without the safety net of knowing what comes next. They see it as an opportunity to feel the story in a new way, to be part of a moment that isn't predetermined. Others, however, approach it with caution, wondering whether the changes will stay true to the essence of what made the story meaningful in the first place. What makes this moment even more interesting is that the uncertainty itself has become part of the experience. Instead of waiting for a known conclusion, fans are now engaging with the story in a more active way, questioning possibilities, debating theories, and preparing themselves for an outcome that could go in multiple directions. And that shift, from certainty to speculation, has transformed the way people are anticipating the finale. In the end, the real impact of Sam Heughan's tease isn't just about what will happen in the final episode. It's about how that uncertainty has reshaped the entire conversation around the show. Because when a story reaches its conclusion, what people remember most isn't always the exact details, it's how that ending made him feel. And maybe that's the point. Sometimes, the most unforgettable ending isn't the one that follows the path you expected, it's the one that changes it just enough to make you see everything differently. Of course, this approach comes with risks. Book fans, in particular, have invested years into understanding the story as it was originally written. For them, any significant change can feel like a disruption, even if it's done with the intention of enhancing the narrative. And that tension between expectation and innovation is what makes this situation so compelling. Because no matter what direction the finale takes, it will inevitably spark strong reactions. And those reactions are already beginning to take shape. Some fans are excited by the idea of being surprised, of experiencing the ending without the safety net of knowing what comes next. They see it as an opportunity to feel the story in a new way, to be part of a moment that isn't predetermined. Others, however, approach it with caution, wondering whether the changes will stay true to the essence of what made the story meaningful in the first place.